So part four, and hopefully the last installation of you decided to purchase a handgun. So again, by this point, you have already looked up what type of guns you might possibly like. You've identified what you're going to use it for. You have already sat before a licensed firearm instructor, and you have gotten training on the basic safety knowledge of guns. And now you have continued to go to the range and kind of honed on what type of specific guns you like. So at this point, you're basically just going through and you're looking to find out, what guns feel the best. You've narrowed down this list to, your one or two. The next thing I would tell you to do to take into account is to check out your aftermarket support for that gun. For some people, they may feel like that's not necessary before they buy a gun. I think it is. And the reason why you want to check your aftermarket support is because you're going to run through, unless you're just really fortunate and really lucky, you're going to run through a lot of holsters trying to figure out what fits, how you want to carry them, and you want to make sure if you want to add anything extra to the gun, that there is a big enough after support market to do so. So for example, my Mod 3 is probably one of my favorite guns, but it's not a widely known gun. And because it just came out within the last year, and the Mod 2 is slightly a little bit different, every holster is not going to fit. Every, light attachment is not going to fit. Every holster, they just may not all fit. Or you'll have severely limited options, and depending on how you want to carry, that is important. And one of the things I like so much about my Glock 19 is in any style that I want to carry, whether I want to carry it at the appendix position, whether I want to carry it at the 6 o'clock position, like there is a place, or there is holsters and stuff that is going to support that. It's just my opinion that should play into a factor in which pistol you select if you're only getting one, or if you plan on only having one for a while. And it should also be noticed that as your skill expands and as your comfortability with the weapon expands, you may want to do things like add lights, like add optics and stuff on it. So that's why you want to make sure that you pick something that has the biggest aftermarket support, just so it allows you to have more options when you're selecting your stuff. And I also want to point out that when you go to the range and you shoot them, you want to make sure you shoot them a couple times so that you have like a real strong practice of shooting with that gun. I'm also going to reiterate, you need to make sure that you pick the gun, that you continue to pick the same type of gun once you find one that you like. For example, P320 has a lot of different models. And so like some of them I like, some of them I can't stand. And for a while, it was like every time I went to the range to try one out, I was like, bro, this feels different, or this shoots different, or I don't like this or that about it. And it wasn't until I started really notating that, hey, listen, I like the X-Carry version better. But once you figure all that out, all that's left to do is to, make your final selection, make your purchase, make sure you have your ID, your cash, and a decent amount of time to wait. If you are going to purchase it online, make sure that you've already shot that exact model before you purchase it, simply because you don't want to purchase something without touching it, without shooting it. Now, if you choose to make a purchase not from somewhere that has an FFL, you choose to make it as a private purchase, again, as my video stated beforehand, I think that everyone should make sure that they get a bill of sale, just in case you get a gun that has been used in a crime or whatever the case may be. You have someone else, or you have a point of saying like, hey, listen, it wasn't me, I got it from so-and-so. And if you're buying a firearm and people aren't willing to let you look up the serial number of it before you buy it, or to test it at a gun range, like that, don't buy that gun. I typically tell people, like, there's two places you want to try to get guns when you get them from people. You either want them to meet you at the gun range so you can test out the gun to make sure that all the components work as necessary, or you want to do it at a police station. You want to do that because, hey, listen, hopefully they pull up in the car, you pull up in the car, y'all go in there, and, the gun is stolen, if the gun has a body that people know about, then you can point out that, hey, wasn't me. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. If you guys have more questions, let me know, and I will gladly answer them for you.